Okay, great. And here we are, fourth wave of energy incoming on July 10th, 2020. Obviously, the wave has come in, it's hit already, and this is the final day. Day 9, Tuesday, July 14th, 2020. And we've been watching the wave come in since Monday, July 6th, 2020. Absolutely amazing. 9 days it's been, with the changes coming in and before and what's taking place across the world, many countries. Many major trending topics that exploded across the world sphere. So we see now we've added gold into our timeline, and our 12 watch areas are space weather, jet stream, ring of fire, earthquakes, volcanoes, sea life, economies, Middle East, United Nations, Anak Krakatau, Cascadia Zone, and the sunspot cycle. So one of the big things that the world is now becoming more and more amazed at is the comet Neowise. And as you can see on our timeline here, we've tracked this comet all the way through the 9 days, the 9 day energy window, and it was just before the energy window began that the comet came out of nowhere. There was no warning, nothing. It was just boom. There's a massive comet called Comet Neowise. And it's funny how the word neo, if moved around, can also create one, the word one, the number one, and wise one. Be wise in the one, right? Neo wise the comet. So as a sign to humanity to keep a close eye on the skies. So yeah. Actually, let's open it up. So this is the comet here. Its tail, absolutely huge. It shifted colors and now became an amazing blue color in the sky, and it's naked eye now. People can actually see it. So a lot of the astronomers and all the scientific community is amazed what that comet is actually doing. So as again, all happened during the fourth wave. How it changed its tail, it grew bigger. It's after getting extremely bright, all during the fourth wave of energy. So we added in our jet stream. You can see now that the United States went under massive storm warnings as the jet stream took in the changes in the fourth wave. And again, this is all connected to the Mayan scope. You can also see how, if you look at Monday, the jet stream. Actually, let's do a draw here really quick. So we look here at the beginning of the jet streams, right? And then we look here. You can see the complete shift of the jet streams. The jet stream across the Atlantic and across the United States. See how it's shifted, especially after the full arrival of the fourth wave, which is here. You can see that I began to shift from this period here to here. Notice that's very different now, and then it begins to completely shift, and now this is what it is. See the way it shifted down compared to where it was. See, right, again, it looks pretty the same these 3 days, and then poof, starts to shift around here, definitely shifts here, and then completely starts to alter, and now it's this. So yeah. So now, if we take a look at the Ring of Fire, is obviously a big area we keep an eye on as well, and don't be surprised, in the next, I don't know. So what's that? July Thursday. Tuesday, Tuesday, July 14, 2020. So let's see. If we look at the shifting of the energy, I don't know, I'll probably give it like a 96 hour. Um, 96. Probably from the last day. So we probably give it 96 hour change within the Earth's core. So what's 96 hours? So give a quick 4 day window from like maybe, I don't know, Tuesday, July 14th to maybe Wednesday, Thursday, right? Maybe Saturday, July 18, 2020. Don't know, look for maybe some type of big event, like a big earthquake or tsunami or something like that. So see how it all goes. Possible. If it does hit, it'll definitely be around the Ring of Fire. And so keep an eye on the Ring of Fire for 96 hours from Tuesday, July 14, 2020. So anyway. And then we have the earthquakes that we had today. Nothing really out off the scale here. Mostly just 5.3s, a couple of 5.2s. But the energy has moved a lot of the tectonics around. So as we just said, just keep an eye on the Ring of Fire 96 hours after Tuesday, July 14, to see what happens. Volcanoes, kind of the same. They stayed a little bit. Some went dormant, some got a little bit more active during the fourth wave. So sea life, no real big story jumped out in relation to whales, oarfish, marine, all that kind of stuff. So some changes in the US economy. One of the big things now that the world is starting to shift to, especially in America, is the stimulus checks. It's Tuesday, July 14, 2020. I think they have, 11 days. July 25th is a big day, and then you have August 1st, and then you have October. So I guess when they all get back, I think they get back on July 20th, 2020. So maybe that week, so let's see, July 20th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe by the 25th, which would be amazing if they were able to have another stimulus package. Who knows, maybe it'll be called like the Heroes Act or something. Done and dusted and ready to go. That would definitely save a lot of things. So keep an eye out for that. The Middle East was kind of popping up. The big thing that's going on in the Middle East right now, as the fourth wave went on, there was oil prices. And keep an eye on the Middle East. It's always going to be about oil, especially as things unfold in the Middle East. The United Nations, again, up to crazy things in relation to aid and keeping back aid. The headlines on Tuesday, July 14, holding aid, not giving aid to certain countries. So keep an eye on that. So the United Nations is all about the aid, the food, and the storages and supplies. So that'll be important. The Middle East is oil. The United Nations is going to be about the food supply and getting supplies to nations that are going to need it. So keep an eye on that. And that Krakatoa, as we started on Monday, July 6, 2020, there was no recent eruptions, and as we spoke about it, the next day it erupted. Caught a lot of people off guard there, so we've put that into our Tuesday, July 14, 2020. It was one of the areas we were watching for, and it did erupt. The Cascadia area, something to do with today, a news headline popped out there with Finch in relation to businesses in that area. So Cascadia is going to be a big location that's going to play a big part in many things coming up in the future. So it's something to keep a very close eye on, especially from the fourth wave to the fifth wave and the fifth wave. Because what's happening, all these tectonic plates are being pushed deeper and deeper together, where they have to find some type of expansion to stop the energy building up. And the more 6 or even 7.2 quakes or even 8 quakes there is actually a good thing, because it relieves the pressure that's building up in the tectonic energy locations. So it still hasn't released anything over an 8.5, so it's building, building. So the sunspot cycle, as you can see, we've added in our last graph for the fourth wave, and absolutely astounding what happened during the fourth wave, how it changed the intermagnetic field energy and interacted with many things. So amazing. And the fourth wave energy we added in our final graph, and you can see in the last graph there the impact of the change with the wave of energy, the fourth wave. So again, this was a 9 wave intensity window of level 4, and it did increase the complete world scope of many things. I mean, after the fourth wave, a lot of things are different, and that's what it does. It pushes humankind to do good things, you know. So this is a special dream vision now. It's gonna have to be a separate video due to the fact that it's very deep and very complex, and it's all re-interconnected with threads that were put out upon the public mindscope in the 2020 Olympics. And every now and again, I do and I don't take that much notice of the Olympics, especially the opening and closing ceremonies. And but you know, the Olympics, they've changed a lot of the opening and closing ceremonies. They've become more like theatre or movie productions, very extravagant. So this dream vision just started with the rings, the Olympic rings, and just looking at it as if like it was a race or an Olympic race going on. I was like, oh yeah, the Olympics, okay, cool, move along there. But then it changed, and I was in front of the Bridge of London, or London Bridge, whatever you want to call it, and it kept flashing the rings in front of it. And then 2012, so it was shown that the Olympics of 2012 are much more important than people realise. And when you think about that, the Olympics of 2012 was 11 years after September 11, the Twin Tower attacks, the demolition escapade, you know. Silverstein, World Trade Center 7 just crumbles into thin air. But anyway, so I was like, okay, the Olympics 2012, what's it all about, George? You know, and it shows that they were using the ceremony as a cloaking device across the consciousness of the world to prepare the world for some of the events that's actually going on now in 2020. And so you have to be looking. So if you go, this is just simple 9/11 mathematics here. So if you go 11 after 2001 gives you 2012, and then if you take the 9, you go 9, and 2012 is obviously 2021. And it's kind of amazing because 2021 would be the beginning year of possibly Daniel's 70th week, which is connected to the baby boomer or the final generation, which some you could say began May 14th, 1948. And of course, if you pull up Psalms 90:10, if God wants to give grace to the world, he'll give the world an extra 10 years. So the first part of that is 70 years is 1948. 70 is obviously 2018. So you would have to have some big events happen between May 14, 2017 to May 14, 2018 for the extra 10 years, the super 10 years to be added. And of course you do find that, especially with the Jerusalem capital being given, so that's a big offering there. So is it possible that in Psalms 90:10 activated the additional 10 years? And will the world work together to activate more years, who knows? But so that would mean you're looking at May 14, 2028. This is all just on the Gregorian calendar. It's very simple, nothing complicated, very simple math, very, very simple. Of course, Daniel's 70 week is not fully 7 years, because it's not put out there in the math that uses the 360 day. But anyway, so let's just play the game of the Gregorian calendar math. So if we go simple math, 80 years. We tie in the 2020 Olympics here, so we put this together. It's very simple, right? So you have the 2020 Olympics, 2012, take 11 away, put you back to 2001, add 9, put you at 20. So from 2012, add 9, put you at 2021, right? And if we go back to May 14, 1948, we add Psalms 90, 10, 80 years, the Supra, additional grace, 10 years, that puts you at 2028. If you take away your Daniel, 7 years, that puts you May 14th, 2021, which interconnects with the 2020 Olympics of 2012, which is your 9. This is just very, very simple, straightforward Gregorian mathematics, just to open the mind scope of many who are probably unaware of this because they don't teach the understanding of the stars anymore and the signs that the final generation should be looking for. Instead, they just teach silliness. Anyway, so what does it all mean? So that means that May 14, 2021 would see, again, we're just using Gregorian, would see the beginning of the 7-year tribulation. So if you go May 14th, 2020, and you go 3.5 years forward, right? 3.5. So we go. That'll put you at October 14th. No, that'll put you at November 14th, 2024. So between that year and the next year, you'd have to see like a Tour Temple, and then at the half, you'd have to see the Abomination of Desolation, 7-year plan also. So from now to May 14, 2020, you'd have to probably see a 7-year plan, or Israel annexing land and so on. And you'd have to see the Tour Temple come into play. So see how it all unfolds. It's going to be an interesting time period, right? So then it began to shift, and it brought me to the Hampton Court Palace again, and it keeps showing the countdown clock. That time is moving or accelerating quicker towards an end point. And then once more brought me to the Washington Monument, and how the Washington Monument also has an end date countdown that most likely would have came to pass if the 1910, if the Psalms 1910 wasn't activated. So it's still very important to keep an eye on the Washington Monument, yeah. And then it brought me to the apex of the Great Pyramid on the Giza Plateau, and it says all the riddle of time is within the Great Pyramid. So this is very important. The Great Pyramid is the riddle of your generation, of your final generation. All the riddles can be figured out through the Great Pyramid, and it began to encode all the information needed for what's coming. So, and then it began to spin the Great Pyramid around. What that means is that the time is going to come where the Great Pyramid is going to activate through the crystals that are embedded on a different dimensional plane at the apex of the crystal. Some might know this as the capstone, if you will, but only the final generation will get to see all these things. And then it started going back through time, showing the building, the bringing forth, the reason it was put there. And this is all encoded. I can't go too deep into it right now. I'll probably do a separate video on it, or the entire Dream Vision. And then it shifted to looking down at the sea being parted, Uh, Again, this is all connected to the Great Pyramid, the Red Sea, Exodus, Moses, the leaving of Egypt, and looking down and parting the Great Sea there, the Red Sea, if you will. And then obviously the day of the crucifixion, where the crossing of many time frames, timelines, space-time occurred, and where the lamb left slaughtered. But the day will come where the lamb will return as the lion, and no mercy shall be shown. And it's also interconnected to World War One. This is very, very important. A lot of people overlooked how important World War One is and what that actually did to the world. It completely altered the entire psyche of mankind after that moment scope. And then it brought me to the Dome of the Rock, and the interaction or the leaving of some advanced sky folk, if you will. And then it showed France and something to do with a meteor or comet, and you can see there on the left the Eiffel Tower getting absolutely decimated. So people need to keep a very close eye on France for some reason. It's possible that it could get hit with a meteor or an asteroid or something crazy. So, but this will be tied to the events that are coming. Again, it may not be well. It could. Well, that's what it showed anyway. And then it showed the plays of the skull, the changing of the light time, the rising of the dawn, if you will, the rising of the sun, and the twinkling of the moon, the changes in timescape. So, and then it showed inside the Great Pyramid, just take a look around, but also other chambers that haven't been discovered yet. And as I said before, high energy particles will be very important as your sun continues in solar minimum. So, and then it showed Orion, but this time all the stars are moving, and how Orion is interconnected with the pyramids and what's going to happen. So the changing of the stars in Orion have to do with the changing of the Earth. And then, as you can see, the Great Pyramid is there, the Giza Plateau, but the Sphinx is different. Around the Sphinx or on top of the Sphinx, so the head of the Sphinx becomes a whirling timescape, and then the timescape changes into a stargate or a portal, and that will become activated as time goes forward, interconnected with the Sphinx and some of the things that are there. And then the portal began to show a change in many things, mankind, humankind, and the portal also showed other dimensions and stars, if you will. And then it showed how the last time the energy portals of Earth activated, there was a shift in the weather patterns and the last ice age, how the ice spread across the Earth and changed, and and then it showed how the Great Pyramid, some people believe that there's going to be some type of like sky event with, ships just torn up in the sky. Well, to know that it's true, it'll come from the pyramid and the stargate and the portals. They don't need to be flying great amount of distance. They can just use stargate. So they'll appear first around the Giza Plateau, and that's how you'll know. And then the great stars of Leo and Regulus, and how the return of Nibiru is connected to the constellation of Leo, and how the Sphinx looked at it the last time it was here, and the great knowledge of the pine cone or the pineal gland, is now going to be reintroduced to mankind so they can prepare truly and properly for the timescape, space-time changes that are coming. So this knowledge will now be reintroduced to mankind, and how there is going to come a day, it'll be known as the day of light, if you will, if you took people forward and back, and how the changes in the Earthscape will be connected to your local star, but also to the stargates and the portals that will begin to activate as days go forward. And how, if you're looking from space here, this is what you would see. You would see the change of the like a plasma beam, like a plasma staff from the sun interacting with your local magnetic field, if you will, from the sun. And this has to do with a second binary interaction, not constellation, but star system, interacting with your own solar system and changing everything. But to see this from Earth, it will look like a day of light. So I will go into that deeper as time permits. So that now ends the fourth wave of energy incoming on July 10, 2020. An energy intensity window of 9 days, July 6, 2020 to July 14, 2020. Day 9, Tuesday, July 14th.